Well, I'm delighted to be here at the Belfry Hotel in Oxford, where we have come along to the Platinum Property Partners National Workshop, and I'm with one of the leadership team. It's Mike. Mike, thank you so much for inviting Property Tribes along to what is actually kind of one of the main flagship events of the Platinum Property Partners calendar.
No, you're very welcome, Vanessa. It's great to see you. Yeah, we hold 2 of these events a year, and it's a chance to get our franchise partners together, talk about everything to do with HMOs. That's what we focus on, we specialise in. So there's lots happening in the outside world, which is out of our control, but we focus on the HMOs that are in our control, and just give our franchise partners tips, inspiration on how to improve their portfolio and grow their business.
So we've got about 100 franchise partners in the room next door to us.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of a format of the event, because you've got guest speakers, you've got specialist topics. You cover a lot of ground over the 2 days, don't you?
Yeah, we're going to talk about some macro information about the economy and about politics and what's happening in the outside world. So tomorrow we've got Roger Martin Fagg, who's an amazing behavioural analyst who will tell us about the market and the economy. We've got our own suppliers coming and talking to us today. So we've got surgery sessions where franchise partners can book slots with our specialist suppliers and get individual personal advice. And then we're taking on topics such as just how to improve our lettings business, how to be better at lettings, how to choose tenants, how to work in a world that is changing from a tenant legislation point of view. So our head office team deliver that expert advice as well. So lots of detailed advice being given, and then most importantly a chance to have a chat, because we're all landlords out there running high quality HMOs for our housemates, and it's a lonely world, and that's why we're part of a franchise. We can just connect to each other, make sure that we stay aligned, and just share some of the stories that come out of the running of an HMO business.
Because I think the event is kind of symbolic of so many of the benefits of being a PPP franchise partner. The education, the knowledge, the networking, and I think coming along to an event such as this, it's almost a bit like a vitamin injection, because as you mentioned, we can, as landlords, work in quite an insular fashion. We can get stuck in our groove, our comfort zone, and I think coming along to an event such as this, it's almost kind of giving you a bit of a lift to take your business forward and maybe to the next level.
Yeah. I mean, the strapline for today's event is inspiring growth. That's exactly what we're here to do. Is the owners of the business are also franchise partners, as you know from last year.
Yes.
So we're in it every day. So we want to inspire our other franchise partners just to keep on growing and developing their business, achieve their goals, and that's really rewarding for us to see them come here, get some value from meeting up with other partners and going back and just building more HMOs. So inspiring growth is a very topical, appropriate title at the moment, I think, as well.
Yeah, it's like a hive mind of knowledge as well, isn't it? Because you've got 100 HMO landlords here, you've got all the guest speakers, all the people with the specialisms coming in all together, and it really can be, a sort of lift-off or platform to jump forward.
Yeah, we've got a couple of partners who it's their first national, so they're coming along today. They've had their mentoring, they're buying their first property, and we've got partners who have been here 17 years and they've got huge portfolios. So the amount of knowledge in this room is just phenomenal, and the great thing about the franchise is we just share that knowledge. There's no hierarchy about how long you've been, how many houses you've got. It's just about how can we help each other get better. So it's a really positive environment.
It's one of the things that I love about Platinum Property Partners, because you have such high standards, you're so committed to education and best practice, and all of the projects that I visit by your franchise partners are always done to such a high standard. In fact, I was talking to one of the franchise partners who heard about PPP from Property Tribes, because you're one of our sponsors, and he said that when he had his HMO inspected by the local authority, they said, this is such an amazing example, can we show other landlords?
Yeah. That's fantastic.
You can't get better than that,
no,
can you?
Absolutely. And we have we try and encourage our partners to have good relationships with our HMO officers. They're there to help and guide as well as inspect, and we have that. So it just makes the inspections easy every 5 years, but also it gives us confidence we're compliant. And it's so important, not just because of legislation, but because you want to look after the people that you're housing, that they feel safe in your houses. So we focus on compliance a lot to make sure the houses are designed well and they're maintained to a very high standard.
And you actually have a specialist person at head office whose role is to help everybody with their compliance, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So on the letting side of our business, we have a lettings expert who's fully trained on lettings, knows all the legal implications of it, and she's there to guide our partners. So any issues at all on tenancies and legislation, not just current but what's coming down the track as well, then we're on that, and it gives the partners then confidence that they're acting absolutely, to the letter of the law and staying compliant.
Another big area of support is planning. So you have a specialist person that assists with that as well, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a session on that tomorrow, so it's all about planning and also the eco agenda, I think, just making sure we're efficient in our design of properties, how to stay efficient, how to upgrade properties. So that's tomorrow morning's session, is all around eco and planning. So looking forward to that one, yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about HMOs, because I don't know whether you agree, but just anecdotally from my point of view, I think they're having a bit of a moment. There's a lot of people very interested in moving from standard buy-to-let to HMOs, and I just feel that there's been quite an uplift of interest in them in the last few months.
Yeah, I think the market's changed a lot in the 10 years I've been a franchise partner. It's changed massively, and clearly some of that is economic, but some of it is social changes as well. But also it's the demographics of landlords has changed. So because HMOs have been around a while now, you've got landlords exiting, which is fine. They've done their time. They want to cash in, but you've got new people coming in who want to develop their own portfolio. So we see a huge up in that side of the business. People buying and selling HMOs, but the demand for our rooms is huge, and I can't see that changing. I think whatever housing policies do come in with a new government, which is likely to happen, I guess, in the next few weeks, whatever happens, there's a massive shortage of high quality housing for young people, and actually not every young person wants to buy a property. They want their careers to develop, want to move around, be mobile, and I think the HMOs give young people a fantastic home, a safe home to be in for the years that they are moving around between their career jobs and so on. So the demand is huge at the moment, and I don't really see that changing in the short term.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you have a lot of data come into your network about how many responses people are getting to their adverts and things, and you can actually see that there is this incredibly high level of demand. And if you've got a product, the one thing you need is a lot of people that want it, and if you have such a lot of people applying for rooms, then obviously you've got a wide selection of tenants to choose from.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the demand's out there, but we train our landlords, our partners, on how to manage the mix of tenants in a house as well, how to select tenants so they get on together as a household, because they're going to stay together for quite a few months probably. So we spend a lot of time making sure that the household itself gels as a household as much as we can. We want the housemates to be really happy living in what is their home, and if you have that mentality as a landlord, you're likely to make the right decisions, I think.
Harmonious households, very important.
No, absolutely.
Now, what about strategies like social housing and supported living? We've got a lot of conversations about those on Property Tribes. Is that an area that your partners are looking into?
Yeah, so it's not a core part of Platinum at the moment, but I think, again, the market has evolved over the last few years in particular, and there's some need out there by individuals for housing. So it is something that we have been discussing as a strategy. Should we expand into that space? But at the moment, our core is HMOs, and that's where we focus our training. But it isn't it's an area where we may well go into in the future, because there's clearly a need that's going to develop, I think. And again, it's not being filled adequately by the other sort of housing providers.
So if we've got Property Tribes members watching this who are interested to learn more about becoming a franchise partner and tapping into all the resources that we're hearing about in this interview, they can come along to a discovery day, can't they? And that's probably the best way to kind of enter into it.
Absolutely, yeah. We're a member of the British Franchise Association, so anyone who queries and wants to join Platinum in any way at all, or just inquire, we help them with that due diligence. There's no cost in doing that. Everything we do up until someone joins is absolutely free of charge. That's part of our commitment as part of the BFA membership, in that there is no fee to pay in finding out about us. So come to Discovery Day, talk to our partners, and we'll take you through the due diligence required to understand whether it's right for you, because it's not right for everybody. It needs a commitment, it needs a business focus, it needs a customer-centric mindset, but the rewards are huge. So I think if somebody wants to do it, come to Discovery Day and we'll help you make that decision.
It seems to me that there's two kind of key demographics that I think it would really suit. Somebody that's got standard buy-to-let and interested in moving on to HMOs, but with support, or somebody from a business background like yourself,
Yeah.
who has had a very successful business career and then wants to kind of go off and do their own thing. Those are the two kind of key areas, would you say?
Yeah, we've got all sorts of people who've joined us over the years, actually. So many corporate people have joined us with their business skills and
Yeah.
want to just use those skills in their own business. So a lot of this is about building your own business, which is great. It's exciting and it's
Yeah.
different. So people exiting the commercial corporate world are attracted into our world, I guess, of being their own boss. So that's definitely an audience that have attracted partners in the past. But we've attracted people who have, yes, they're existing landlords who want to expand into HMOs, realise that it's a bit more complex market
Definitely.
and needs training. You need to be an expert in it. It's not something to dabble in. I think you either do it professionally or don't do it is my advice. And if you do it professionally, then the rewards are there. If you try and do it in a ad hoc way, then you'll get caught out, I think, because there's a lot of legislation, as we know, to control that particular sector and make sure it is compliant.
No, I totally agree. Well, we've got another day here at Platinum Property Partners National Workshop, and I guess people are going to go away from the event with loads of new knowledge, loads of new contacts, loads of new ideas, and take those forward into their business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so hopefully they'll leave inspired for growth. That's what we want them to do.
Inspired for growth.
Absolutely. So no, it's good fun 2 days as well. So we have lots of fun time and a great barbecue planned this evening. So that'd be a great downtime. But also this great content, which just inspires you, but also just gives you confidence that you're on track.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for inviting us along. It's great to be here. So we have been a few years in the past, but I always love coming to meet your members. They're so knowledgeable and they're doing such amazing projects, and the standard of what they do is so brilliant, as I said. So it's great that we're part of the Platinum family here at
You're very
Property
welcome.
Tribes.
It's great to see you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.